right. Well, we should really tell everybody. Rochelle, you should really tell everybody who you are.
Yeah, sure. So,
And what you do.
So my name is Rochelle. I'm a Livingstonian, which is crazy because I've never even ventured to certain parts of town. I'm the lead trainer at a new high-end boutique studio in Verona called AKT. And there's only 3 in New Jersey, in all of New Jersey. They all happen to be up here. We are a full-body fitness studio that alternates between cardio and strength intervals. It's about an hour workout, so you come in, get a pump, get out. It's a good time. There's a disco ball on the ceiling. I feel like that's always my selling point.
Nice.
The lights are low. They change. It's a great time.
What kind of workouts?
So we're known because originally it was called AKT. Well, it is called AKT. It's Anna Kaiser technique. So Anna Kaiser is a celebrity choreographer in New York who ended up selling the business to a franchise called Exponential that's now partnered with Lululemon.
Yep, that guy's a killer. We talked about him last time.
Yes. So AKT is one of the branches of Exponential. And our workouts, we have 4 different types of workouts. So circuit is your typical HIIT interval class. Tone is kind of like, I like to call it a bar Pilates fusion type of class.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
That's what I would call it. 45 minutes followed with a 15-minute foam roll, which is amazing. So it's kind of like a massage and workout all in one. And then bands, which is our high-intensity cardio / strength class, which uses overhead resistance bands to create a routine. So you create a routine throughout the entire class using resistance bands that actually hang off the ceiling. So not like the TRX where it's mounted to the wall. Here it's actually resistance bands hanging off the ceiling. And then our typical dance class, not to get it confused with Zumba though, because here you're actually learning a choreographed routine throughout the entire class, and then you perform it under the disco ball. So.
That's
awesome.
Pretty cool.
So
that's a good take
someone who's never worked out before, they walk into your place. How do you guide them?
I was just going to ask you that. Where do they start?
I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably the most perfect workout class for people who just start because it's so small group and you're not getting more than 15 people in a class who are of all different levels. Some people who want to push themselves, some people who don't. It's the best workout. So pretty much you walk in through the door, you're greeted by our amazing front desk staff. We also sell retail, so that's an awesome thing because some people like to just go shopping. Mm-hmm. Then when you come in, the trainer will walk you through every single step of the workout. So once you get in through our factory doors, you are guided through every single step, and you're also having an interaction with the trainer. The trainer will come over, help you, and because it's dark in there, someone who hasn't worked out, probably our biggest thing that we hear is probably they don't want anyone looking at them or staring at them or making them feel uncomfortable. And here it's dark in the room. There are lights that are around the rim. It's dark. You can only see yourself pretty much. No one's looking around. And you're doing the workout with your trainer. Your trainer's actually doing the workout with you. So you don't feel like you're alone.
I have to tell you, and I say it, I probably said it to you and you probably didn't agree with me, but it's psychological. I'm very big on the psychological part. I don't know who came up with putting the windows in the gym where people are sitting at a light and they look over and they watch you working out. I will never step in a gym like that. Ever. But that's the biggest thing. You see it, what is that, the 25-day challenge, or they were popping up all over. I'd be at a light early in the morning heading to work and looking over and watching a woman work out. I don't want anyone looking at me. And I'm sure they don't really want anyone looking at them.
Yeah.
But that's a whole big thing with the gyms.
Yeah, I mean, that's like Planet Fitness. You can't drop the weights and you can't grunt and take your shirt off.
Right. It seems like you need to get in shape to be in the window. That's going to be a turnoff for many people.
Yeah, and there are no windows.
I love that.
So, therefore, no one's staring at you.
You can wear what
dark.
You want.
When I tell you, I am taking off my shirt, throwing it around. Some of the words that come out of my mouth, I swear to God, I'm surprised Laura hasn't fired me yet. We're having a great time. When I tell you it's a party in the room, I mean it's a party in the room. Flicking the hair, slapping the mirrors, it's a really good time.
That's a really awesome.
Good time.
Yeah, that
People
is
need
awesome.
more of that too.
Yeah.
Put the phone down for a second, get after it for an hour.
They need
Put
to
it
just
down,
be happy.
Walk in there, crop top and all, let your hair down, shake it around a little bit, get a little crazy, get in a good workout.
Yeah.
And then go on with the rest of your day.
So,
and also too, everyone in that gym is usually very like-minded. Like MST is the same thing. Like you're meeting great people. So like it's not like you should feel self-conscious walking in there.
No.
So.
No, you're gonna see people from all walks of life. I've had people from 18 years old who's coming with mom to someone who's never ever stepped foot into the gym, is just starting their weight loss journey, and has gained, I don't know, close to 50 to 80 pounds from COVID, from being locked in their house. It's amazing. It's probably one of the best jobs for me as a trainer, and as someone who can pioneer this new studio and help get it off the ground. It's probably one of the most rewarding things ever.
That's great. That's great. What are the hours?
So our classes run all the way from 6 in the morning till about 12 midday, and then from 6 and 7:30.
Oh, okay. So it's morning, exactly when everyone's pretty much free.
And on the weekends too. So in the weekends, starting at around 7:30, finishing at around noon.
Who opens up?
At noon.
Who opens up?
Who opens up? Not me. Not me. I'll tell you that. I'm definitely the one teaching at 6 in the morning, but I'm not opening up the doors.
Yeah, that's early.
That's the hardest part about these gyms too, is the 5:30, 5 a.m. wake up. Sometimes
She used to
4:30.
go at 5:30 and open up for them.
Yeah, it's rough.
That was rough, but she did it. You know.
But let me tell you, I'm one of those few youngins that go to bed at 8:30.
Wow.
Like 9 o'clock, like we're already pushing it. Like we're pushing it. We're drinking coffee at 6 if I need to do something at 8 o'clock. When I work out in the morning, I'll wake up really, really tired. But once I'm done, it's the most energetic feeling ever. Your day is going to work
exactly
phenomenal. Like everything just falls into place. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't trade it for anything. The wake up does suck in the beginning if you're not used to it. But once you get used to it, you wouldn't trade it for anything.
You guys have a sauna?
I wish.
I love saunas.
I would be in there. I would be in there every day. I don't think Laura would have a trainer, though, if
there was a
we
sauna.
had a sauna.
Because I was reading about the heat shock proteins with saunas, and it says that whatever characteristic in your brain is responsible for endorphins, when you do sauna, the heat shock proteins enhance the endorphin effect, which is pretty interesting.
Same way with extreme cold as well, too.
I started cold plunges 2 days ago.
Yeah?
In a pool. It's actually not that bad.
How long are you staying in there for? That's a question.
You go numb after a while anyway.
6 minutes. Like after like 45 seconds to a minute, you control your breath. It's all about your breath. Like if you hyperventilate, you're just going to pass out. Not pass out, but get tired of it. But
you do Wim Hof?
After 45 seconds to a minute, you get your breath under control, then you're pretty good.
Aren't you numb after 45 seconds?
Yeah, you're pretty numb. With that said, though, like the cryotherapy.
You go under?
I didn't go under. You're supposed to go under. But the cryotherapy, like nothing comes close to an ice bath. Like the cryo is cool and all. It's cold, but it's nowhere near an ice bath.
I've never done cryo.
I've
done the ice bath, but I haven't done cryo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go under?
It's a big part of our culture. Well, my culture. So I'm Ukrainian, and in the wintertime, we love to go to the sauna house in Fairlawn. They have an ice plunge over there. So how you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to go into the sauna, get yourself like ridiculously sweaty, like sit in there for like a good 15 to 20 minutes, get yourself really sweaty, maybe get beat with leaves, but that's a whole nother story. Then you come out of there and you go right into the cold plunge and or a cold shower, like right then and there while you're sweating really hot.
I wonder if that makes it worse.
No, it's actually really good for you.
It's so good for you.
No, I mean, makes the cold feel even worse.
Oh, it makes it feel
you're hot.
A lot worse. A lot worse, but I mean, think about it. Like people are still doing that all the time.
He has to get up for the camera, so it's not. Yeah.
It's all good.
No, I know Hemingway. I think her name was Hemingway. She played on Golden Pond. I forget her name. Well-known actress. She lived in Connecticut, and she would go into the water every morning in the winter. And she was a beautiful woman. She said it just did so much for her skin and her health.
Yeah, I mean,
she believed that.
For your, first of all, anxiety, depression helps
Amazing.
Big time. Immune system, heart. There's a lot of benefits.
Yeah, but they tell you saunas, though, you got to be careful if you have heart issues. I don't know, but that could be
It's true, but that's like that's the plaque that they put on every single.
I was just going to say that. I was just listening also to a doctor, a cardiologist actually, and he was saying, the worst thing people did was stop eating eggs. Don't worry about the cholesterol. It's not about the cholesterol. Eat eggs.
They're finding more of that
and
out
things.
now.
Yeah, he said that everyone jumps on that bandwagon. He also talked about oatmeal in the morning.
Yeah.
Oatmeal is not for humans.
Oh, you're talking about Tim Grover.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, they get these labels. Everything gets his labels.
Wait, oatmeal's not for humans?
No, he said he would not recommend it for his heart patients. They're oats.
They're also finding out, though, that breakfast is not the most important meal of the day.
Well, that was always kids' breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Well, also, too, like look at Frosted Flakes for kids. In all the cereals, you're injecting all sugar, and then that's why the kid's tired at 12 o'clock, and then, little Billy has ADHD because he can't focus.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that does have something to do with it, because I think the amount of sugar that's in foods now has just skyrocketed compared to even when you were younger.
Look at bananas. Yeah. Bananas, I remember, as a kid, if you got bananas from the store, they last 2-3 days. Now bananas sit on the counter for over a week, and they don't go bad. Even all the fruits and stuff.
But that's how the U.S. grows food.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with it being a banana. It has to do with how it's
what's on the banana.
Yeah. And that's so I always tell this story, and I was working with a woman at our gym not too long ago with her nutrition. So she came to me and she was like, Rochelle, I'm only eating 1,400 calories. Now this is this premonition that people have that in order to lose weight, they shouldn't eat. They're like, okay, I'm going to eat so much less than what my body truly needs. And so, what were we talking about for a second? I don't know where I was going with that.
Bananas.
Welcome to the world of podcast.
Yeah, we're
I was like, wait a second. Where was I going with that?
Period.
Where was I going with that?
Yeah, the bananas.
Foods
and food. And this woman came to you that was working with a nutritionist.
Yeah, she was working with a nutritionist, but she wasn't eating as much as she definitely needed to.
Yeah.
And then all she had in the morning was a banana, because it was so high in carbs, but then she wouldn't have anything else. And I told her the story that when I went to Europe, I went to Germany with my dad. We did this big trip a couple years ago. And I only had, I swear to God, for 3 days, bread and gelato. That's it. I came back, I lost 2 pounds. Just because of the way that the food is made there and here. People strive here financially off of making food worse for people so they can increase the amount of times they use anything pharmaceutical.
100%.
And that's just what sucks about society today, is that they're moving away from sourcing food naturally to making money off of other people getting sick because of the way that they grow their food.
And
even the candy too, the red dyes are not good for your brain. Red dye is awful for your brain. Awful. Like Twizzlers, Skittles. I forget the study
corn syrup, like we talked with Dr. Barley.
Oh yeah,
but that's cheap, right? So it's true. If you look up the trailer to Fed Up, the movie, which I talk about constantly, if anyone hasn't done that, do it. It's amazing. They talk about the sugar industry and the food industry is acting like the lobbyists are acting like the tobacco industry of years ago. They have a lot of pull in Washington, and that's the problem. They're allowed to put high fructose corn syrup in everything. Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching The Ideal Experience. If you or anyone you know needs to lose weight, I have helped my clients lose over 60,000 pounds in the last 12 years. Give us a call. The office number is 973-486-6928. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
When I was in high school, they would show me, you guys know the movie...
Super Size Me.
I want to see that. Was that on somewhere? Netflix or anything?
No, you can watch it on YouTube. It might be on Netflix, but you can definitely watch it on YouTube. We were shown Super Size Me in high school. Now, God forbid they show Super Size Me, making someone feel conscious about gaining weight because they like to eat McDonald's.
So is it better to let them just keep gaining weight and not say anything?
That's a topic we need to discuss.
Yeah, that's I agree with that. I do have a lot of people that ask me about their kids, and I understand it. You want to, especially with girls, you want to talk about health. I absolutely get that. But I said to one of my clients, because her daughter was severely, and but what is she going to look back and say, Mom, you never said anything, you never helped me? Because she can't feel good about it when you have to go and get a prom dress, or you can't.
No, that's one thing that
it's so.
Do I get emotional a lot?
No.
All right, so there's there's times where a kid will walk in here. There was one time there was a girl that came in that
You can't say much about that,
that
but
lost a
Yeah.
loved one,
yeah.
and seeing the look on her face, because she knew that she was overweight and she knew that it was very hard to overcome her weight loss. Seeing her face, I was very emotional.
And besides, it's not their fault. It's not their fault.
No.
It is not their
It's
fault,
not.
and
It's
that's the biggest
food
thing.
industry.
But we have some good things coming down the pike, and hopefully, I have a woman coming on a podcast who's going to talk about the childhood obesity epidemic, and there's help.
That's
There's
actually my
definite help.
thesis.
Is
That's my master's thesis. My master's thesis
Really?
is on obesity in young adults.
it? Yeah.
Did you finish it or?
No, currently in the process of it. Right now, I'm just like head deep in research.
She's somebody
talk
that
about
maybe
that.
when she comes on the podcast, maybe you want to join us.
Absolutely, I would love to.
She's done some amazing
When is
things.
she coming?
We're trying to schedule that now. Hopefully October.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll be knee deep in
I told
research.
her whenever she can, I will make the time. I don't care what time it is or what's on my schedule. I'll clear it. But she does talk about it. The problem with it is that, and no offense to, but the doctors don't even know how to handle
No
it.
idea.
The pediatricians will talk about the antiquated food pyramid, and they
That's
don't
so
they don't know.
outdated.
No, you can't put any child on. No, you can't put a child on a strict diet. Absolutely not. But we can teach them a lot.
A lot. You know who I think you'll really like and resonate with? So I saw this man. His name is Dr. Ronald Hoffman. He is a holistic internist in New York. And his partner is a registered dietitian. And I went to go see him for an issue that I had. It was a 4-hour appointment.
Wow.
I walked through everything with him. And he writes the exam for clinical nutritionists, and he believes in holistic care, period. He's like, if I need to prescribe, that's going to be the last possible thing that I'll do. Then I sat with her for like an hour and a half, and we talked about diet and how different foods affect this and that. For me, it's interesting as someone who studies this field and is constantly involved. It was really interesting, but I think you might like him. He does a podcast as well as a website called Intellectual Medicine, using
we should
food
get him
as
on here.
medicine.
We should get him on,
He's amazing. He's in New York. He's phenomenal.
I say this to my clients. Well, I said it to Chris the other day, and it's very interesting. Food could be your cure to a lot.
Absolutely.
Food is
Food is medicine, right? Weight loss is healthcare, but that's what got you in the spot is food. But
Absolutely.
you can also correct it with food.
Absolutely.
There's just so many different. There's so much information out there that, in a way, we've all been brainwashed for years.
100%.
For years and years and years. I hear people say, my daughter's trying, but she's eating a bowl of fruit in the morning and going off to school. Yes, the fruit is healthier than the cereal, but she's still spiking her insulin levels.
Absolutely. Some guy did a test actually on rice where he put rice into, he cooked rice, and then he has diabetes, so he tested to see what the glucose levels were after eating the rice directly out of the microwave or from the bowl, wherever he made it from, instead of leaving the rice to cool an hour later, and the glucose levels, even in rice, was significantly different.
Same thing with potatoes when you let it cool down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
Super
can't help
interesting.
myself, though.
it is interesting. But, then you go to, it's not even being led, the marketing is tremendous. Marketing is, their marketing is absolutely brilliant. I was in the store with Gia one time. This was years ago. And we were talking about breads and whole wheats and things like that. She grabbed Wonder Bread and a known brand whole wheat. Do you know the Wonder Bread was better for you than the whole wheat?
I don't doubt that at
People
all.
see whole wheat, it's all enriched.
Mm-hmm.
When the first word's enriched, it's hitting your bloodstream the same exact, but Wonder Bread was better than the whole wheat bread.
I don't doubt that at all.
Also, it just popped into my brain. When you look at kids who are obese, I would like to figure out or do some research on parents being stressed out throughout the day and just saying, here, just eat this, and just making their kids
Well-
feel satisfied and full for dinner.
Well,
and
that's
not really
the-
realizing what they're giving their children.
Well, when you go back from years ago, right? A lot of people they were home, they prepared meals. It was different. Today, 2 people need to be working in a household. Moms and dads are busy. Yeah, they're going through the drive-through. I mean, when we were growing up, if you had Burger King once a month, you were lucky. And talk about supersize. There was no supersize. You got a little soda. You
Yeah.
got everything was small, portioned.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Now you have Chipotle, you have Chick-fil-A. Yeah, you have an exhausted parent, right?
Quote
who's
unquote
coming
healthier options.
healthier,
quote unquote.
which that are not right. Healthier options. Yeah, so I think that is true, Chris. You're
I think
grabbing
so.
food. You're grabbing it half prepared. You have to.
I think parents that have their schedules together and are organized are going to have healthier kids. Do I know this for a fact? No, I'm just talking
No,
out
but
loud.
there's just so many people that are organized, Chris. But there's so many hours in the day.
I'm just saying because I'll get a comment saying I'm not a doctor, but in the YouTube channel.
Well, yeah, or you're saying that people aren't organized, so that's not true. You can be very organized. You just run out of time.
Yeah.
They're observations. Let's put it that way.
Observations, exactly. So during your research studies,
Oh,
what are you finding out?
so a lot. So my focus for obesity in particular is to focus on the 18 to 25 demographic, specifically at the education level. Like how far do they get into their education and how does that affect obesity, or how has obesity affected that? Socioeconomic status, location within America, like why are some kids in states such as Alabama significantly more obese or have greater than a 30 BMI in comparison to places like Hawaii, who's on the opposite side of the scale, or Colorado on the opposite side of the scale.
Because
I
eating healthy is expensive.
Absolutely.
One thing too, I want to put a topic on top of this conversation. Also, hormone levels too.
Absolutely.
Because Hawaii, you're getting a lot of sunlight, so the sunlight's going to, for guys especially, more testosterone. That's just been shown. That in areas like Florida, when you're down south,
He's got a thing. Yes, he's got a thing on testosterone. You
no,
definitely
because
do.
hormones are
No,
a
I know.
huge component of estrogen
But
levels.
it's mostly because they can't afford. It's I would assume. Am I right that they can't afford healthier foods?
Well, what I'm getting to is the foods that they're getting could deplete your your levels
yes,
of hormones.
that's true.
That's also a very individualized thing
Yeah.
when we're talking about hormones. So being able to create like substantial amount of research on something that's so individualized that it's just not going to happen to the extent where which we can apply it to all of the
Mass.
U.S.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta get tested individually. So
Exactly.
yeah.
But there is no argument to the fact that organic food is more costly, and people will slap organic on pretty much anything.
It's not regulated.
No,
There's
it's
certain
not.
organics that are regulated. There's a
Certain,
lot
yeah.
that is not.
So that
Again, marketing.
socioeconomic status, like, are you in a single family household?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have both parents? Is one at home? Are they both working? Where in the U.S. do you live? Location. What else? Those are pretty much my three main points.
After school activities.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
pretty much like where school nutrition, where are these people who's in college in particular for my demographic? If you're in college, what are the dining halls if you are on a school plan, meal plan? What are they feeding you? How is it being created?
Yep.
So the research is really interesting. There's no doubt that socioeconomic status and education has a crazy effect on obesity in the U.S. Like I had mentioned with Colorado and Hawaii. Education, the further you go in your education, so people typically, research shows that if you are, if you hold your bachelor's degree, more than likely you're going to be less obese than those who just have their high school
Really?
diploma. Yeah, and it also matters based on race as well. So the Black community or the African American community typically has higher rates of obesity, as well as whites. Funny enough.
More fast food in those locations.
Absolutely. Now, I think when we're talking about predominantly white, we're talking about towards Alabama, towards the Midwest. But yeah, so
Yeah,
there
more
are a lot of
farms down there,
factors.
you're
There are a
getting-
lot of factors. The Hispanic population is also getting hit really hard. I mean, it definitely goes Black Americans, Hispanics, Hispanic Americans, and then the white population.
Because the demographic, because you look at Alabama, like, nothing but farms.
Yeah.
So you're getting farm-raised stuff, so the quality of what you're getting is better, as opposed to if you go down to like the inner city, you have Church's chicken, stuff like that, where everything's fried, all processed. So
And
you're
we
not
need
getting the best quality.
We're also differentiating here between people who are overweight versus people who are obese. There's research that separates the two. So here we're talking about specifically people who are considered by the CDC as obese with a BMI of over 30.
Yeah, it's over 30, yeah. And then anything under that BMI is
We're talking about overweight. And then we're talking about in the 16s where we're talking about healthy weight.
Because I remember the stat, because going back to COVID, that 78% of the people in the ICU for COVID were obese.
Absolutely.
So, like, when you read that, like, when I read that, I defined what obese was, and I read the BMI that's over 30 is obese. So you're talking about some pretty big people. Like, it's not, you're talking about, you know.
So I can tell you about a study that I actually read today. So I read today they took a sample of 210 people who had a BMI of over 30, who tested positive for COVID. 9 of the 210 died, and 19% of the 210 ended up needing a ventilator. And when you think about 9 people plus 19% of 210, which isn't even that big of a sample, we're talking about a lot more people than it should be.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty much like 20 to 25%. It's a lot of people. And it's really upsetting that people don't see that other people are using them as financial success for other industries.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
There's just no doubt about that.
And they don't talk about it. You didn't hear them on the TV saying, get healthy, lose your weight, get your BMIs down. You didn't hear that.
No, you also didn't hear about regular health practices through school that you should be doing every single day. The amount of water that you should be drinking, the amount of protein that you should be intaking for someone just to be healthy. We're not talking about 6-pack abs here. We're talking about someone feeling good about themselves every single day.
Right.
That's it. And they just don't show that in schools. And that's why so many people then who are interested in this have a full new set of schooling to do as a nutritionist, as a registered dietitian, as someone who even has a certification in any type of health coaching. We're talking about a lot of new information that they just do not teach you in school. And that's what's really upsetting.
Well, because if they teach it, they have to live by it, and they have to change the school lunches. Like in that trailer Fed Up, they were asking, how are you calling ketchup a vegetable? Like, why are you saying that to children? And the sugar.
In your high school, what'd you have? Because I'm thinking about mine right now. There was French fries, pizza. You had chicken nuggets.
I mean, we had all of them.
Chips as you were checking out. I mean, there was
when
really you had fruit and stuff, but no one was picking the fruit.
Well, when I was at Verona High School, I think it was Mrs. Compercio, and her, and ladies, they would be in the back cooking.
Yeah.
So it was great. They had great hot lunches.
Yeah.
I mean, there was the other stuff if you wanted to grab, but you could get a good hot meal from 4 Italian ladies that worked in the back of the cafeteria.
We had great.
They don't do
ladies.
that now. These big businesses come in and they sell these lunches cheap, and that's what it is.
No, we had great lunches. Like, I won't even lie. In Livingston, we had great lunches. Would I say that they are the healthiest? No, because we definitely had a mixture of the two. But at the same time, no one places an emphasis on proper holistic eating or nutrition, just everyday nutrition. When I went to go see Dr. Ronald Hoffman not too long ago, he told me point blank when I walked into his office that he genuinely believes that every single ailment and illness can be healed in the gut. And I'm going to be completely honest with you.
That research is really...
I'm a living example. I am a living example of how an illness that has taken over my life for over 7 years, where I was diagnosed in high school and not one doctor could figure out what was wrong with me. Fast forward a year and a half ago, I have been lucky, knock on wood, that I have not had a crazy sickness or a crazy issue after fixing the things that I put into my gut. And that's exactly what I preach to every single one of my clients.
Do you know Dr. Jordan Peterson?
I do know Dr. Jordan Peterson.
The daughter?
No.
The daughter had a very bad autoimmune disease, I think. There was something really, really wrong with her. And she went to an all-lamb diet. And her disease that she is completely gone. And
Really?
doctors are like, what the hell?
The research is really, it's growing more and more. And the other thing is the medical community is not going to keep up with that. They're not.
No, because they want to know how to make money.
Yeah, and
That's what it all comes down to.
It's
Let's not get this podcast banned on YouTube.
oh,
Sorry,
banned. Oh,
YouTube.
we can't. Sorry, YouTube.
Listen,
they
I'm
can cut
gonna
that
lose.
out.
I'm gonna lose my own clients.
But no, the gut's really important.
It's so
It's
important.
so important.
And
Your gut
this one-
microbiome.
When I
like
tell
when people
you-
have Advil, Tums. Tums destroy your lining.
Speaking of which, Tums and Advil, if you notice on the back, if you read the ingredients, it's coated in that red dye.
Dye, yeah. Which is not
Yeah,
good for
that's
your
not
brain.
Red and blue dye.
I also read that Advil is awful for your cartilage. Like awful. It
Depends on the
breaks
amount.
down,
Yeah, if
your
you're taking a
cartilage.
large amount.
So like if you're older and your body, if you're not working out and you're older, you're losing your muscle, you're losing your bone mass. And if you put Advil on top of that, you're just going to hyper advance that whole process.
Well,
Absolutely.
this
Of
woman
aging.
who's coming in October 2 is going to speak to this because we were talking about in our clinic when people are on phase 1 how it's good for their gut, but then as they progress into 2 and maintenance, there's something that we could take to correct those gut issues.
Oh yeah. I mean, so when I work with my clients at the gym, specifically on nutrition, and even outside, I act as like a consultant specifically for gut health, specifically for those who have anxiety and depression, because that's pretty much what my life has been dedicated to for the past 6 years personally. I always focus on the gut lining, the bacteria that you have in your gut, and the foods that will ultimately benefit that. A lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, I take a probiotic, I'm good." You're not. Like let's just be honest here. Taking a probiotic every single day isn't going to solve your issues that you're possibly having. Also, a lot of probiotics is not always the best thing either.
Yeah.
Or if you're taking a probiotic and your diet is crap, it's not.
You need all angles.
You do need all angles, and I say that too to clients too. Everyone's taking all these vitamins, and you may not need that. You don't even know what you're taking.
Don't get me started
You're
on
taking
vitamin
too
C.
many things.
Because like vitamins with ideal protein is different because we're taking out all that.
It's not balanced. So what we're
Yeah.
taking out, we're putting back what we're taking out.
So
Plus, Canada, they monitor their vitamins like they're pharmaceuticals. We don't here in this country.
No.
So you're
because
spending
they are
a lot
going to
of
lose money. Why
Yeah.
would they do that? They're
Yeah,
going to lose money.
And so half of the stuff you're buying and you think you're getting, you're not even getting. You're paying so much money and you're not. But I see people with handfuls of pills. What is that for? Or it's the newest thing. Elderberry is good for this or that. And people run out and buy elderberry and they start taking it by the handful.
Mushrooms. Now, the mushroom complexes. I used to take it for a really long time. To then
lion's mane you're talking about? What kind of mushroom?
No. I used to take a full, complete mushroom complex, like every mushroom under the sun.
Interesting.
Until I took a blood test and figured out that I was actually extremely allergic to mold.
Oh, and you're taking mushrooms.
Yeah, it didn't help. But now I actually take olive leaf extract, which works really well, to be honest with you. And it's also beneficial to your gut lining. So it all works
mold, even in mold in houses. Like if people don't know, in their basement, attic, even if you're around it, it is so bad for your body. So that's another thing you got to look into with your studies too, with the areas and regions. I'm sure you're already on top of that.
Oh yeah, best be sure. No, the crazy part is that a lot of people, they will have allergies and then blame it a lot of the time on everything outside, which it could be true. It could be that the things outside you are allergic to some of the grass, the whatever.
Yeah.
But did you check your house?
Yeah.
Did you check your house? Did you see if there was mold in your house?
I was actually watching a Rolex dealer talk about breaking down a Rolex watch, and if you wear your watches in the shower, he showed how much mold is underneath the bezel of your watch. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
And that you're carrying that around all day long.
Well, we used to live in an older home,
Plus asbestos, that's a whole
but our house on 78, it was an older home. Mm-hmm. More moist, maybe down in the basement and stuff. My son he was a severe asthmatic, and 1 or 2 trips a year to the emergency room easily. When we moved, I know he got older, but when we moved, he hasn't had any episode.
Yeah.
And it dawned on me like 4 years ago. And I said to Dad, I was like, did you notice Nikolai's never had that? It could have been. I mean, I don't know, but it could have been his environment
It's so hard
in the
to
house.
pinpoint each
It's so hard.
but
It is hard.
Everything
But
is
you can try.
extremely individualized.
It is.
Everything.
It is.
And it takes a person to say, I need to make a change, or I'm done with feeling the way that I feel in order to make that change. But that could be tomorrow, and that could be 5 years from now. Depends
Right.
on how long they want to suffer.
I also don't think people realize how good you could feel because they felt so bad for so long that they become accustomed to how they feel.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it becomes normal.
I mean, even just sleep alone. Sleep is a steroid in itself if you get optimal sleep.
Absolutely.
If you put down the light and stuff and actually sleep, for guys, going back to, I know you think, testosterone's a huge thing with guys.
Huge.
Your test levels go through the roof. And that's what makes you feel good. Like, if you talk to a man that's 55, 60, 65, and he seems very depressed and down, I could guarantee if you check his T levels, they're plummet. They're down in the basement.
They get them checked, though, for checkups.
That's the thing, though. And was talking
Normal
about this,
range.
but we know someone that just got their T levels checked. They're at like 600 for their age. I mean, if they're at 725, they would feel completely different.
Yeah.
I just want to make clear for everyone on YouTube so that I don't get hated on, because I probably will, which is fine. But
We love our haters. Actually, comment your hate because that actually makes our podcast go up.
Yeah, can you subscribe? We need to ask them to subscribe.
Subscribe and dislike all of our videos.
No.
I'm going to be honest, like, I'm not against doctors. Like, people think,
absolutely
no,
not.
but
God,
people
no.
think all the time, they're like, oh, well, you have X, Y, Z opinion. You must, like, hate doctors. I'm like, I study health for a living. Like, I'm not against it in the slightest.
No, they're wonderful.
At all.
They're wonderful people.
They're
Thank God for
amazing,
them.
and they're so helpful. But there are so many things that we can do without them to better ourselves so that they can focus on treating others who truly, truly need it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
What I wanted to tell you was that I think you'll like the podcast that Joe Rogan did
Well, I've watched them all.
with Andrew Schultz.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch that
Oh,
one?
yeah. Yep.
It's like it hits almost every single point that we've hit, and they're also not medical professionals.
No, but they attacked our podcast, but they have so many smart individuals on that pod. It's actually crazy.
No, I saw Sadhguru on that podcast, and I won't lie, love Sadhguru. I cringed a little bit.
Really.
I cringed, yeah.
Well,
was cringy.
listen, it's stuff. My whole goal is just to bring awareness. I may not know, you may not know, but just people need to do research. People need to take their health into their own hands, and not just wait for an ailment and run to the doctor.
Yeah,
Or
they run right,
call
exactly.
someone who does the research.
Right.
Call someone who does the research for you, who's already done it, and just search for the answer.
I think
Search
if people
for the
just got up
So
and
cute.
started with a walk around your block and then started working out, progressively started getting better at working out.
What
there'd
comes
be,
first, the chicken or the egg? Sometimes they need to feel better, and then that starts. Like,
But it's a
like
snowball
when Joe
effect.
when Joe talks about it, there's some women that he does a tummy tuck, and once they get their tummy tuck, they're like in the gym, they're in the fit.
That's
It
what I'm
turns
saying.
them
Yeah,
around.
it's a snowball effect.
I know people on the opposite side of
And
the
then there's
Yeah.
also people on the opposite that get it and think the opposite way.
Like once you start
So-
working out and you start
Endorphins.
progressing,
absolutely.
like your different movements with hang clean and squat and stuff.
Hang cleans, that's the new movement. Hang cleans.
I
They're
love
just
hang
not
cleans.
squatting.
I love hang cleans, but I'm just saying, like, you look at different angles, like how can I improve or how can I enhance this? And
Listen, no
then
matter
you
what
start
you do,
inquiring, like amino acids into
change your
diet.
diet, start exercising, take the first step. Whichever step that is, I think you just need to take the first step.
Yeah, and a lot of people are afraid to ask for help. Like, I train with someone who I would love to connect you with. His name is Dan Boulay from the Strength District in East Hanover. I've known this guy since I was 16 years old. He's known my dad. He trains both of us, and I weight lift with him, very into cleans, do them almost every day. Shout out to you, Dan.
We should have a challenge. I'm just saying you too.
Kick my ass.
Okay.
No, thank you. I'm going to do them tomorrow. But he said we had a conversation when I first came up to him, and I was like, Dan, I do this for a living. Like, I train other people. I coach people in nutrition. And he goes, yeah, but sometimes you just need someone to tell you what to do. Like, sometimes the person who is the helper needs help themselves.
Well, I think that's
Accountability.
absolutely true. The accountability, and yes, I agree with that. I believe in that.
And it works so perfectly with, like, if people, like, just ask someone, hey, come for a walk with me. Or, like, hey, can you hold me accountable to this?
Right.
Get an
Right.
accountability buddy. I mean, I feel like we could lose the chicken or the egg game and just kind of just be supportive of one another
One another. You're right.
instead.
Just start the process.
Just start. Just start it. Just pick up a barbell, put it over your head. It's that simple.
And get to it.
Go to AKT.
Go to AKT.
And start.
Come, put your hair down.
So you know what I think it's
Fling
important.
it around.
Right? You're very approachable, and I think people hearing you on the podcast, if they're thinking about coming in now, they definitely will.
I hope so. I'm so excited. When you come.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely gonna come.
I
have to come see Laura.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is she there every day?
Almost every day.
Is she?
She pops in all the time randomly, so she'll probably be there. Laura, don't kill me.
You met Laura.
Yeah.
Remember at the football, the breast cancer awareness football cheer, right? You were there.
I was there.
Yeah, Karen's event.
But I
literally, great lady.
When I graduated high school, and you can ask any person that knows me, the first thing that I said was I'm dedicating my life to helping people never feel the same way I did. Okay, I had a really bad diagnosis in 2017, and ever since then, I literally said to myself that I am going to do every single thing in my power to make sure that other people never feel the same way I did.
Is everything okay with your diagnosis?
Everything now is fine. But it's a journey, just like everything else is a journey. To be more specific, I was diagnosed with a severe panic disorder, and I actually couldn't step out of my house. Like, going down the driveway made me want to puke.
And now you're on a podcast.
And now I'm on a podcast. Like, every single day, my mom would take me outside the door and, like, have to walk me down the driveway. And then the high school threatened to kick me out because although I was completing my work, I actually couldn't sit in class, couldn't do anything. I was paralyzed to my bed for 6 months.
Were you on medication during that period?
No. I met the most brilliant, holistic-minded psychiatrist.
How'd you find him or her?
Her. She was a referral. She's from Italy, did her boards and everything in Italy. She even has an amazing cookbook out that we ended up buying. I'm going to see her on Friday. She saved my life. She's in North Caldwell. Her and her husband, he's a cardiologist, saved my life. And ever since that day, she's been my everything, trying to get me to be the best that I can. Saw Dr. Ronald Hoffman, started doing my own research, dedicated my life to helping others with mental health. That moved into gut research, nutrition, now focusing on obesity, as well as being able to put all that information into the gym and use it at AKT where other people feel comfortable enough to say, hey, Rochelle, this is my problem. Hey, Rochelle, I strained X muscle. Hey, Rochelle, my stomach really hurts when I eat X or when I do Y. What can I do? What type of vitamins am I taking every single day? It's amazing.
No, that's major.
Another
God
podcast
bless you
guest.
for that. That's another,
I'll give you everyone's contact information.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's great stuff.
So you'll take my seat. We'll have the guests come in and.
Yeah.
What, and for obesity in October?
Well, all of them.
All of them.
No, yeah. But then we got to do Crossing the Line sponsored by.
Absolutely.
Ideal Protein.
Well, this is the Ideal Experience powered by Ideal Pauline, so we'll figure out our structure.
Crossing the Line featuring Pauline.
Oh, I'm going to get myself into real big trouble.
Why? You're helping people, Mama.
I know, but I cross the line
in
a lot.
Various topics.
Yeah, I'm up for it. I'm up for it.
Yeah, we'll just have a good time.
I'll do it if Laura comes on.
That might be a hard one.
That may be a hard one.
That might be a hard one.
Just do a pass by through the room.
I think she'll do that.
All right.
I think she'll do that. But she won't. She's like, Rochelle, you do it. You do it. You go. I was like, okay, so JJ, come with me, our general manager. She's like, no, you go. I'm like,
I know people are so afraid to do it, but isn't it easy? It's just a conversation.
I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit intimidating, says the person who wants to start her own. But it's a little bit intimidating. I won't lie.
Well, I think you're doing very well.
Thank you.
Intimidating like the first 5 episodes, then it's just like, let's just roll with it.
Yeah, you just kind of talk. It's just it's
Listen,
easy.
If Eric from Stretch Plus, love you, can do it, then I can do it too.
Yeah, he's phenomenal, I hear. But Rochelle, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And
this
I hope everybody reaches out to AKT and
we'd love to have everyone.
Just, even they can stop in and just say hi. Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No obligation. Just go in and have a talk. That's what I say.
Have a talk.
Right?
Twerk a little bit.
Oh boy.
Turn it upside down, shake it a little bit. It's all
Are we
good.
crossing the line?
Good.
No,
Good.
I'm
No,
joking.
we're not.
I'm
No,
joking.
No,
not
that's
crossing.
right where my line begins.
Starts. That's where it begins.
It begins.
Where can they find you? Where's the
We're off
studio?
of Pompton Avenue in the King's Shopping Plaza. So
Okay.
right next to Crunch.
Phone number? Do you know the phone number?
Off the
AKT
top
in
of my
Verona.
head,
Okay.
AKT in Verona.
I know. We don't memorize phone numbers like we used to years ago, right?
No, you don't have
Everything's
to.
on the You don't have to, exactly.
Well, this was awesome.
So this was awesome. You'll
Thank
come
you so
back?
much for Absolutely.
All
I'll be
right.
back in
Good.
October.
Nice.
I'll take his seat.
All right.
Love it.
Perfect. Thanks, Rochelle.
No problem.